Let's talk about the weekend's GAA. A reasonably interesting weekend in terms of the club action. Where are we starting your roundup?
Yeah, we may as well have a look at some of the images from our friends over at Info Sports. They've been around all the grounds at the weekend. One of the big results yesterday was, of course, Na Piarsaigh beating Ballygunner in the Munster hurling final. A huge result for them. Adrian Breen and David Breen combining for 3-5 between them. And they did it without this man, of course. They did it without Shane Dowling. So the Breen brothers really stepping up. There he is before the match. I think we're going to bring you a couple of images of him after the match. These wild celebrations of a man on crutches, as we were saying at the top of the show. Quite simply, one of the best crutches images. And we show you the team photo afterwards. It's pretty easy to spot Dowling there at the back afterwards. Jubilant scenes there. James Crombie of Info with those photographs.
He looked like a messiah nailed to the cross in the last one. It was like celebrating.
Yeah. At the end of that as well, I think we can kind of say that it's been something of a theme, injured players celebrating, because we'll bring you a photo here of Peter Healy from the Kilcormac-Cloughey match. They hammered Mount Leinster Rangers and Leinster, of course, yesterday. He'd come off injured earlier in the game. Brian Keane snapping that one. He's also the taker of your Renaissance painting of the GAA weekend. So much stuff going on there. Hard to know, actually. I think there was a couple of casualties in terms of red cards there. Meanwhile, there's the Poznan. It's Oisin Kennery there who was taking the pictures for Coola as they beat St. Martin's. They're one of the best travelling supports, I guess, the Coola supporters. Conor O'Callaghan, obviously a man in high demand. Here he is accepting a selfie. And for some reason, our own Shane Stapleton seems to garner some level of interest after these games. Here he is signing a young fan's shirt. Meanwhile, in the football, Cavan Gale scored a goal in the 6th minute of injury time yesterday as they beat Derry Gondley to progress to their first Ulster final for 40 years. It's probably the happiest warm down you've ever seen. They're going on to play Schlottneil, of course, in the Ulster final. There hasn't been a Cavan side in an Ulster final since 1995 when Ballybor made it. The Gaelic Games weekend, though, started off in Perth, Ireland facing Australia in the second test of the international rules. The series, I think, really ended in a draw. Australia, of course, won on points, but
by winning both matches. Go on.
But there was no clear winner in what we all care about, aka the actual fights. The big one there at half-time, encouraging signs after Joel Selwood gave, I think it was Chris Barrett, a shoulder in the head early on. We thought, yes, the violence might be back, and then this broke out, and it allowed us to think wistfully back to 2006 when things went absolutely mental. So there's the scenes at half-time.
It looks like one of the Irish lads is pushing one of his teammates' arses to get him further in, as opposed to actually, pulling him out or punching someone.
It's good mauling technique. It's absolutely key to like a full 30-man brawl. The highlights, that was at half-time. Every player involved, I think. So we're going to give that one a good 7 out of 10. But the second half really was played in a sickeningly clean fashion. Not really one scrap to mention. I think there was one incident where Aidan O'Shea is pinning his man to the ground, but that's all we got really. There was no real nostalgia moment back to 2006. The Fenway Classic, of course, was the other kind of hybrid game. There is Clare and Galway in the highlight of the Fenway Classic. That little scrap. Nothing on the level of 2 years ago, though, when a mass brawl erupted. So overall, a really big disappointment of a weekend when it comes to the hybrid games, that there wasn't more fights, to be quite honest with you.
Plenty of compromise rules. So David Tracy of Coola was speaking with our man Oisin Langan after another big win for Coola en route back to the Leinster hurling final.
David, you took a while to get going, but when you did, you really found a rhythm.
Yeah, we knew Martins would come with everything. They're young, really fit, physical. Their half-forward line especially, really physical side. So we knew for the first 10-15 minutes it'd be like a war of attrition. And we knew teams coming out of Leinster who haven't played each other before, there's always that degree of kind of feeling each other out. And for the first 10 minutes it was kind of frantic. There weren't many frees, the ref was letting it go, which is great. But it only took us about 15 or 20 minutes until we got a couple of scores until we settled down.
It was that kind of 2-goal burst in the 17th, 18th minute that really did it. Can you run me through that from your position on the pitch?
Look, it's just about trying to create some space inside, and that was kind of the plan. So got the ball, and we were telling our backs to get the head up and deliver a good ball in, and once Con gets the ball, he turns, and it was nearly a carbon copy of the goal that we got disallowed. So once Con gets one-on-one, and Jake made a great run and thankfully put it in the back of the net. And then I can't even really remember the second goal. It just happened that fast. It was those moments when you can see a bit of an opportunity. We managed to capitalise that and then sit back and kind of keep going tit for tat until half time.
You're into another Leinster final. Pat Gilroy and the boys are over in Boston at the moment. He's taking charge of Dublin for the first time in the Super 11s. You're All-Ireland champions. Is there a positivity about Dublin hurling now? Is there something in the air, or am I just reading too much into it?
Yeah, look, it's an exciting time. We're obviously thrilled to be still in Leinster final third year in a row, which is absolutely brilliant. And then there seems to be, you know, a new air of freshness in this Dublin team, and obviously the whole of Dublin seeing an air of opportunity with a new manager from Dublin. So look, all things, it's not all doom and gloom. I'm looking forward to seeing what Pat Gilroy does over the next coming months with the guys, and for the moment for myself then it's just to do well with Coola.